Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the retro edition. This is Autobot Brawn in its Generation 1 toy deco and indeed changed head. So we are of course going to be comparing him with the other two uses of the more recent molds that we've got. We are then of course going to have to do a direct comparison with the original Generation 1 toy just to see the same colour scheme and indeed the head in question. And then of course we already know that we're going to be getting an Outback, so it'll be interesting to see if we're going to get any of these other ones as well. So while I've moved all these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody, if they're not subscribed to the channel, if they'd hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. And this is why I like these figures. I like them anyway because they're fun. It's great to get mini bots in a deluxe sort of scale. I think it really works for them, and yeah, they all look really good. But what I really like about this is the packaging. Look, it is a perfect homage to the original Generation 1 card backs, right down to the same artwork there, and of course then the picture of the actual toy in the alternate mode as well, down to the tech specs and stuff on the back. The only difference is of course the instructions are slightly more difficult than this. So we've got the only instructions which are here, and I've already cut him open and separated the gun. But look at that, it's just perfect. It's exactly for people who like to collect mint on seal cards or mint in box, then this definitely ticks all of them boxes for myself. We've looked at the front, which looks great. At the back, we've got the 85 battle scene, which is brilliant. And then, of course, we've got the tech spec there as well, which is in 5 languages. If you pause it now, you can read it whenever you want to. So 85 battle scene is probably because he was packaged in robot mode. And if you're wondering what I'm on about, the Generation 1 mini bots were originally packed in vehicle mode in 84. And then when the 84 mini bots were reissued in 85, they were then packaged in robot mode. For more details on that, check out the Brawn review on this channel. Right, let's have a quick look at the figure himself. Let's get this back down where we can see him. And again, we're quite familiar with this mold, but we'll still go through the articulation with him because it's still a pretty articulated figure for such, you know, for such a small guy. To be honest, the head you would think would not be able to spin all the way around, but you can see it most definitely does. The arms will go out to give you the full T, no problem. They will spin all the way around. You could also, if you want to, say there's added articulation in there in the shoulder, but that is of course only for transformation purposes. There's a shoulder swivel, bicep flexion. There's no real wrist movement. You can do that slightly, but that is of course just for transformation. Again, looking at this figure, you probably wouldn't believe, and unbelievably there is a complete waist rotation which actually doesn't get hindered at all. Thigh cut, knee bend, ankle tilt and rock with toe tap, everything. It is perfect. It is really good. The gun that comes with him is this. Again, it's just I think it's darker. Yeah, it's definitely darker than his damaged version, and it's also, is it the same color as the original? No, it's darker. So we've got a grey, a dark grey, but again it is exactly the same. With regards to how the figure looks and why they've reissued the figure again in this particular colour scheme with the different head, it's all down to this guy, which you can see there is brilliant. So the green is pretty much dead on. It really is as close as you're going to get. And of course the head sculpt, again, this is why they've done it, this is why they've changed it, right down to getting the sticker in the smack bang in the center, which is good. They haven't got the detail there because it looks like, yeah, that's where this is going to maneuver around. So it looks like you've actually got a metal bar, a metal hinge. You've got the silver arms, which of course is great. And then what I also really like you can do about this, this has been known for ages, but I love the fact, and let me see if I can actually get it right and do it while we're here. You can fold these out like so, and then all you got to do, funnily enough, is if you turn the whole waist around like so, it's not too bad, but there's your wheels on the side, exactly the same. In fact, I need to turn it that way now, don't I? You can turn it around. What I'm trying to say is you can just do that. You can really mimic. Don't get me wrong, it's completely out of proportion and doesn't look right at all, but the fact that you can do it is just a brilliant little bonus. I need to spin this around because I've got them the wrong way. This just shows you how articulated he is. You can see how many times you can spin around the legs like so. Let's bring him down there, and let's bring in, as we say, oh, knocking everything over. Let's bring in the other two uses of the Brawn mold. Now, at the time of making this video, there is a Outback figure. We've seen that one already. I unfortunately don't own it yet. It's not out available to buy, but we've seen it. And again, it's a great use of the particular mold. So what have we got here? We've got various shades of sort of like, this is like an olive. This is slightly darker, and then we've got even darker still, which you can tell there. And again, this one's, they've all got different heads, which is great. So this one, again, I still can't get my head around the fact that we've got a figure like that. It still just makes me laugh. It's crazy, the fact that we can do this. So other mini bots, which, there you go, are, as I say, the deluxe sort of class mini bots. This one's slightly different because it's, of course, Studio Series 86. There we go. And then just a quick idea of some other figures, just to give you an idea of size and scale, depending on which toy line you collect. That is your Cyberverse Optimus Prime. This is your Commander class, which is going to tower way above him. You're not even going to be able to see it. But then most people still have the Earthrise one. And then, funnily enough, whilst we're looking at mini bots, let's bring in Bumblebee as well. So to be honest, guys, there isn't really much more to say about this particular mode. It does look great. It's a brilliant homage. I do really like it. Let's have a quick look at him in his alternate mode. Right then, we're back for the final time with them in their alternate mode. Quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is to keep the main length of the video down, and the second reason is not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want it spoiling for themselves. You'll be quite surprised how many people do appreciate that, and I still get lots of messages confirming it. Anyway, as we can see here, this is the toy one, which is now hopefully really apparent that this is much more a darker color, and indeed the windows, of course, are black as well. These, of course, are painted, I suppose, is it sky blue or light blue? And we've got like a much more olive green going on there. The yellows look to be exactly the same as we saw in robot mode. And of course, if you wanted to, you can still pop the gun, he says. I'm sure you can. Can you pop on the, yeah, you can pop it on the roof, very much like Outback. The alternate mode itself, it's still pretty good, to be fair. It's blocky, it's chunky. I've took the whole wheel off, but if you do that yourself, you can see how simple it is to reattach. It's just as simple as that. All the wheels, they aren't pinned on, they are clipped on, but they still go backwards and forwards, and as you can see, it rolls very well. The detail on the grille and the bumper is mainly molded. There's no real painting on the headlights at all, but again, it is a great homage to this little guy here. I suppose the thing they're missing is the rub sign, but for obvious reasons we don't get them anymore. If I turn it that way, yeah, you can see that the rub sign's like one of the ones in one of the windows, but look how much bigger the new updated version is. It is huge compared to that. It really is. With regards to some other figures, there's a Generation 1 cab of Optimus, which of course is it's still quite big, that is, to be fair. Then what we've got here is some other figures. Another Bumblebee, funnily enough. Let's bring in this guy just to give you an idea. I always tend to bring in this Jeep because it's pretty much the same size, to be honest. And then we've got another Bumblebee here. I always use Bumblebees and Optimuses because, let's be honest, most people have lots of them. To be honest, there really isn't much more to say about this. I'm just obviously anticipating Outback. I think he looks fantastic. But I'm also wondering, with the Generation Select sort of toy line, if they're going to venture into any of the more crazy ones, where we've got these crazy South American coloured versions of the same mold. With the Outback, as you can see, is a different colour. So can you imagine this in another 3 colours? I think they could probably do it. To be honest, guys, there isn't anything more to say about this. It is just the good old Brawn mold from the Studio Series 86, but in the great toy deco. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.